Hello. I thought I would do another puzzle. I thought I would do another puzzle by this creator that I like named GDC. I've done a few of his or her puzzles before, and I like them. So I dug up another. This one is called The Knights Who Whisper V. I assume that's a pun on The Knights Who Say Ni from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Great movie. And I hope it's a great puzzle. It's been around for 62.6 days, and there are 1,554 solvers. So I am excited to make myself the 1,555th, if we can swing that. But we'll see. So what are the rules? It says normal Sudoku rules apply. That's not how you spell Sudoku, is it? Normal Sdudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a knight's move cannot repeat. Okay, I've seen that rule before. On lines, adjacent digits differ by 5 or more. Cells joined by a V sum to 5. Okay, so relatively simple rules. Relatively simple puzzle. I don't think that means it's easy, but we're given very little information. We're only given 2 of these lines, 2 of these V's, and this knight's move rule. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at any of these rules. These are definitely, I think, common to see in a puzzle, but I don't know the last time I did one of these puzzles that requires knights along digits along a line to be separated by a 5. I'm going to have to think about how to deal with that. So, what are we going to do? First things first, I think we can fill in the digits that go down here. So if numbers sum to 5, I don't know why this is an A, but if these numbers sum to 5, these two numbers sum to 5, then they must definitely be less than 5. It wouldn't be possible to put a 5 here, because then this would need to be like a number that isn't allowed, like a 0. So I think what this means is that we have 4 cells that need to use the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think that they'll be unique, and determining 1 should determine some of the other ones. So if a 1 goes here, then this would need to be a 4, because these two would need to sum to 5. And then this would force these two to be a 2 and a 3 in some order. So there's 2 pairings, 2 ways we can add to 5, 4 numbers, and we need to do it twice. We'll just think about how we have to apply that. This is the last rule. In fact, we've applied this rule to its completion, I think. There are no more V's to use, which means that that rule is not going to be much help to us in the future. Cells separated by a knight's move cannot repeat. So what that would mean is, like, say this was a 5. It would just mean that these two cells, neither of them are allowed to be a 5, because they see one another by a knight's move in chess. Knight does something like this, maybe it does something like this, but these two see one another by a knight's move. I have done puzzles with that, but I would still consider myself a beginner. But we don't have any numbers in the grid, so I can't imagine the place to start is with the knight's move rule. Can't imagine that's the place to start. I imagine the place to start is with these lines, and I don't know what to do about them. So digits need to differ by 5. That tells me that there isn't allowed to be a 5 on the line anywhere, because if we put a 5 down, there's nothing that would pair with it. I could put a 1 here, but then these would differ by 4. So 5 is not allowed to be on a line. We need to use the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I believe it's possible to have 4 and 6 on the line. In fact, we're not allowed to have 5. What I'm realizing is that 5 is sort of like a middle number. We're going to put some low number and call it 1. Or maybe it's a high number. But what's going to happen is that the next number needs to hop over 5 to something on the high side. So if this is a 1, then we would need a high number here. It could be 8. Now we would need to hop over the 5 again to the low side. So you could be a 2. And then maybe you could be a 9, and then maybe you would be a 3. I guess this doesn't work because of the end. But maybe I could reverse this. Maybe 3 could go here and 2 could go here. We could have something like this. But the thing that I'm thinking over is the fact that it has to hop from low to high. It has to hop from low to high. We don't know whether or not this is a low or a high number. But maybe we could fill them in. Yeah, let's do that. Let's say that, let's do something like this. I think it needs to alternate from low to high numbers. Is that right? It is right. It is right. So if this is a low number, then this would have to be a high number. 5 is our middle number. 5 is not allowed to be pink or green. We don't know whether or not green or pink corresponds. Green is either going to be a set, the high number set or the low number set. I say the low number set. Are they allowed to repeat? It looks like they're allowed to repeat, except for this knight's move. Rule. They're not allowed to repeat. You need to all be unique. You certainly are unique numbers, and then you see all of them. So you're definitely unique with all of these. And then you 3 are unique, but you are different than all of them too. I just have to think about this for a second. So how have we gone about this? We're 6.5 minutes in. We don't have too many rules to go off. We can't apply the V move anymore. We've figured out everything that goes in the V cells, sort of. We can't apply the knight's move rule yet because we don't, well, we have applied the knight's move rule yet, but we can't really apply the knight's move rule yet because of the fact that we don't have any numbers in the grid. But the deal is that we now need to apply the line rule. It's the only other rule that we can really apply. If you think about what happens on the lines, we're going to have this sort of bizarre behavior where we're going to start with a low number or a high number, and then we're going to alternate. And we know that they're unique. And I think we can do one more thing. There are exactly four low numbers and there are 4 high numbers. We're going to need 4 low numbers and 4 high numbers in every column. There are already 2 low numbers down here. That means it's not possible for pink to be low. Pink needs to be the high numbers, because if it was the low numbers, we would run out of space. So pink needs to be the high numbers, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Green needs to be the low numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we know that these are unique. So if a 1 goes here, 1 is not allowed to be in any of these. So, yeah. This is cool. I haven't played a lot with this rule with the line that separates numbers where adjacent numbers differ by 5. I haven't played a lot with this rule, but it's a fun one. It's made me realize that when I see this in the future, I should try to separate the numbers into low and high numbers, but I haven't figured it out yet. We've sort of been able to use these down here to determine the fact that these need to be low numbers, or these need to be high numbers. But now what do we do? We could try ruling out numbers. So I don't think it's possible for this to be a 6, because then these two would both need to be a 1. There's only one number that differs from 6 by 5. So you're not allowed to be a 6. Because then you would both need to be 1. You're not allowed to be a 6. Because then you would both need to be a 1. You're not allowed to be a 6 because of the fact that you would both need to be a 1. And you see one another by knight's move. I think what that means is that the 6 has to go here. So you're not allowed to be a 6. And now if you're a 6, you need to be a 1. So we're not allowed to have 1s out here anymore. And now my question is, if you were a 7, is that allowed? If you're a 7, then you would both need to be 2s. So you can't be a 7. If you were a 7, you would both need to be a 2. So our 7 needs to go up here. And now you can't be 7. 7, there's only one number you could go here is 2. Now, if you're an 8, this is cool. This is it's a cool rule, but it's also like a cool shape. It's a cool combination of rules. It has to do with the knight's move rule. The knight's move rule mixed with the green line rule, mixed with this particular shape, leads to, I think, only one way that it can be done. You're not allowed to be an 8 because you need to differ by 5. And there's only one set of numbers that differ from 5 by 8, and they're both 3. But then these would both need to be a 3, and they would see one another by a knight's move. So you need to be a 9. You need to be an 8. And now you need to be a 3, and you need to be a 4. My eye was then immediately drawn down to the bottom where we have more stuff. But it's crazy to me that we were able to fill this in. That's crazy. That was a really good find, GDC. I have no idea how you made this puzzle. And it still may be too hard for me. I mean, we still may get to a situation where I don't know. But like, this is such a cool combination of rules that it was able to be filled in like that because of these things. Damn. Okay, but we should figure out what's going on with these things. So you're not allowed to be a 1 or a 4 anymore. This means that you're not allowed to be a 1 or a 4 either, because 1 pairs with 4. So you need to be a 2 and a 3. In fact, you need to be a 3 and you need to be a 2. Now you guys, you must be are 1 and 4, and I don't know what order you go in. But I should label you, shouldn't I? So you're low numbers. Cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. So where are we? We're 13 minutes in, and we've applied a bunch of different things. We've applied the fact that we've applied a bunch of different things. Anyway, where are we? I should label where, should say where we are. We figured out with the lines that the line rule is very conducive to this idea that we split the numbers into the low numbers and the high numbers and the middle number 5. We then use the fact that in every row and column there needs to be exactly 4 high numbers and exactly 4 low numbers to do some interesting things with the V's down here. And this was able to fill in this. Very interesting. So down here, for example, I'm missing a low number, a high number, and a 5. Up here, I'm missing a low number, a high number, and a 5. Here, I'm missing 1 low number, 3 high numbers in a 5. Down here, I'm missing 4 high numbers, in a 5. But I think that's all we can... Could we go further? So, like, there needs to be a 3 in this region. There needs to be a 3 in this region. That 3 can't go here or here because these see 3s along the column. So there needs to be a 3 in here someplace. This is going to be our missing low number, which means you must be either a high number or a 5. In fact, you guys must be high numbers or a 5 too. But I think we knew that already. Similarly, there needs to be a 2 in this region. These see 2s along the columns, and this one sees a 2 by knight's move. So you need to be one of wherever 2 goes. I don't want to fill in all the answers. I don't want to fill in all these numbers, but maybe we'll see something. Oh, there's an interesting thing here about where the 1 would need to go. So where does the 1 need to go in this region? A 1 is not allowed to go here because these see 1s along the column. And then the question is, what about these 2? If this was a 1, then you wouldn't be allowed to be a 1 by knight's move. So you 2 are, yeah. And if you're a 1, then you are not allowed to be a 1 by knight's move. So you 2 are never allowed to be a 1s. So our 1 needs to go up here. And if the 1 is here, it forces it here. If the 1 is here, we don't know. But now we sort of know where all of the low numbers go. I don't think that's what I should be doing. I think I should focus on the other line, but to be quite honest, I'm not quite sure how to swing the other line. I keep glancing over to it and then thinking, oh, I'll come back to it later, but I want to do this same low number, high number trick, but we don't know what the low and high numbers would be. So let's call red, I don't know what red is. We would do it like this, right? Okay. No, I didn't alternate correctly. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. It's the same thing. It's another one of these knight's move shapes. My idea is to try again, to say that these need to alternate. Along the green line, we have to have digits that alternate low number, high number, low number, high number. I don't know whether or not red corresponds to the set of low numbers or the set of high numbers, but I know that they alternate. So it's going to definitely go red, yellow. You know, in the end, we're going to figure out that either yellow is what we used to call green or it's what we used to call pink. But I think it's the same thing with the uniqueness, where these 3 numbers need to be distinct. We're not allowed to have any repeats here. And then this number needs to be distinct from all of them. So we're going to have 1 copy of the low numbers or 1 copy of the high numbers in red. And then it's the same for yellow. So these 2 need to be distinct because they're in the same region. This needs to be distinct from these 2 because it sees both of them by knight's move. And then this one needs to be distinct from all of them. So the red and the yellow are now copies of the high and low numbers, but we don't know which one. We're not allowed to have repeats in there anywhere. This is cool, GDC. I like this. I'm worried about the situation where we're going to lose where the 5 is, because now that we're coloring regions and things like this, we need to remember the fact that a 5 exists. We're almost 20 minutes in, and I feel like we've made good progress. We went from practically nothing to some numbers. This is a good puzzle. The rules were so clean and simple. We're given so little information, but we were able to make a lot of progress, at least up here. Can we do it down here? There's 3 reds here, and there's only 1 yellow. In the end, we're going to need 4 low numbers and 4 high numbers. My question is it possible for yellow to be the low numbers? Because then, if this was a low number, I could put a low number here and here, but I would have 1 low number left over, and that would be forced to go in this region. This region's all filled up with low numbers, which means it's not possible for yellow to be the low numbers. Yellow needs to be the high numbers. All of the yellow shouldn't be yellow, they should be pink. You're a high number set. And all of the red, you should be our low number set. And now we know that the low number, we know that there's a unique copy in these, and there needs to be a unique copy in these too. And now, well, I was about to explain, and now we can do what we did before with this one, but I forget what we did before with that one. What did we do before with that one that was able to narrow it down so nicely with the shape? Now that we know that they're definitely low and high numbers, we should be able to fill in what numbers they are somehow. But how? How? I remember. You can't be a 6. You can't be a 6 because there's only 1 number that pairs with 6. So you 2 would need to be 1. So you're not allowed to be a 6 because you would cause a contradiction. The same thing is true with you. Both of you would need to be 1s. So you're not allowed to be a 6. You're not allowed to be a 6 because of knight's move. If you were a 6, then you would need to be a 1 and so would you, but this would cause a contradiction by knight's move. So our 6 absolutely goes here, and this means our 1 absolutely goes here. So you're no longer allowed to be 1s. You're not allowed to be a 1, and you're not allowed to be a 6. This is really cool. It's just it's cool that the creator was able to take 2 different rules that I've seen before and combine them in an interesting shape. It's like the shape of these lines plus the knight's move rule allows you to fill them all in using logic. That's really cool. Can we do it again? I think we can do it again. If you were a 7, then both of you would need to be 2. So you're not allowed to be a 7. If you're a 7, then both of you would need to be a 2. So you're not allowed to be a 7. So you need to be our 7. And that means you need to be our 2. Now, if you were an 8, both of you would need to be a 3. So you need to be a 9. You need... Okay, hold on a second. Yes, you need to be a 9. You need to be an 8. You need to be a 3, and now you need to be a 4. That's what we have. This is crazy. Now we've exhausted the lines. We've exhausted the lines, and we've exhausted the V's. So I should be able to fill in this puzzle sort of using classic Sudoku logic, but with a knight's move. We've put in, except for these, I don't know how that's going to shake out, but I think now we're in a good position to be able to fill in the rest of the puzzle just using the rules that we've been given. So without much logic. So there needs to be a 9 in this region. That 9 can't go here, because these see 9 along the rows. You 2 see 9s by knight's move, so you must be a 9. And maybe I won't keep up with the colors anymore. I was always worried about this confusion about missing something because we have this extra cell. 5 is not a color, does not go with 5. So maybe I'll stop it with the colors until we need them again. But I'll leave them here for a moment. So you need to be a 9. You guys need to be 9s. That's not enough. We need a 2 in this region. That 2 isn't allowed to go here or here in any of these, so you need to be a 2. We need a 3 in this region. There's only one. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay. Okay. There needs to be a 6 in this row. That needs to go here, here. Yeah, all right, forget that. 2s, can we do something with 2s? Can we do something with 3s? I don't know what to do, but I feel like the solution now is to step through all the possibilities. There needs to be a 4 in this region. You see 4s along the rows. You 2 see 4s by knight's move, so you need to be a 4. So now we have some 4s. There needs to be a 4 in this region. You see a 4 by knight's move, and you see a 4 along the column. So one of you two must be a 4. And now in this region, there must be a 4. It's not allowed to go in these 2 rows. It needs to go here. You need to be a 4. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. There needs to be a 4 up here in one of these 2 cells. I guess maybe we haven't played with the high numbers enough. There needs to be a high number. Maybe we haven't played with the high numbers enough. I'm not quite sure. Well, we haven't played with the high numbers enough, but they haven't been super helpful. Yeah, they haven't been super helpful yet. Maybe we should stick with the low numbers. 1s. Can I do something with 1s? You're not allowed to be 1s, and neither are you. So one of you two must be a 1. Okay, what I'm realizing is maybe we should have gotten back to the colors a little bit. I'm going to have to remember our 5th color, and I was worried about that, but what I'm doing is I'm labeling all of the low numbers green and all of the high numbers pink. And the reason I wanted to do this again is because I noticed that all of the low numbers are taken up here. I'm not allowed any low numbers here, you know, all of the low numbers are taken up. We need to put high numbers in these cells, high numbers and a 5. You're not allowed to be a 6, 7, 8, or 9. You need to be our first 5. You need to be our first 5. And now you guys must be high numbers. You must be our high numbers. So I don't know what goes where, but we need a 6, 7, and an 8 somewhere in there. Now we need a low number and a high number here, but I don't know in what order. We need a low number and a high number. The only low number that can be used in either of these 2 is 1. So we need in this column, no, that's not right. That's not right at all. There needs to be a 4 in this column. That 4 needs to go here. Now you need to be a 1. Now you need to be a 1. Now you need to be the missing high number, which is 6. So you two can't be 1s anymore. You're a low number. Low is green. Oh, no. You're our high number. You're pink. I feel like at this point what I just have to do is kind of classic Sudoku it, but I'm not an expert. And now I want to disregard the colors again because the colors are going to be distracting and annoying. We need to have a 9 in this region. 9 can't go here. But you need to be a high number. What did I say? Sorry. We need to put an 8 and a 9 in this region. We need to put an 8 and a 9 in this region. 9 can't go here, so the 9 can go here or here. 8 can go there or there. 5 must go here or here. There needs to be a 1 down here someplace. All right, forget that. Let's step through the numbers again. This is the part of the puzzle that I don't know how to do, which is just solving it without the logic part, just solving it by looking at it and doing stuff. Anyway, there needs to be a 6 in this region. This 6 can't go in this column. It can't go in this row. U2 C6 is by knight's move, which means you're a 6, right? You're definitely a 6. Yep. One of you two needs to be a 5. One of you two is definitely a 5. This means you're definitely a 6 or a 9. So you need to be a 9. Now you need to be a 5 and a 6. You're a high number. I am so unhappy that we slipped back into the colors. Is that true? How do we do this? This row, you're not allowed to be a 5 or a 6, and the missing piece was 9. So you two are not allowed to be a 6, which means you need to be a 6. Click through, 1s. Where am I allowed to have 1s? Where am I not allowed to have 1s? I need to put a 1 in this region. It needs to go down here. But that's probably not what I should do. I should think about where the 1 needs to go. It's not allowed to go. One of you two must be a 1. Is that right? A 1 needs to go in this region. But it can't go here because you see 1s along the row. It can't go here because you see 1s by knight's move. So one of you two needs to be a 1. But now we have a 1 in this column. So the 1 needs to go here someplace, and that would need to go here. So you must be a 1, and that limits our options for that 1. So you must be a 1. Now, what? Let's see. I don't think we can put 1s anywhere. I don't see a good place to add more 2s. I don't see a good place to add more 3s. I don't see a good place to add more 4s. We have made almost no progress with 5s. 6s are tempting. In this region, one of you two must be a 6. But you're not allowed to be a 6 by knight's move. You are our 6. And now we need a 6 in this region, and it must be one of you two. One of you two must be a 6. We need a 6 in this region, and it must be you. So you must be a 6. Now you must be a 6. Now you must be a 5, and you must be a 6. Okay. Lots of progress. Still missing a lot. I wonder if I'm not seeing some row or column that we're doing well on. But I need a 3. I need a 3 somewhere. One of you two must be a 3. Right? You're not allowed to be a 3. One of you two must be a 3. One of you 3 must be a 3. One of you 4 must be a 3. Interesting. In this region, we've got 1s, 2s, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a 7 somewhere, and I need a 9 somewhere. So you're not allowed to be a 9. You're also not allowed to be a 1. You need to be our 7. Okay, then you must be a 9 and a 1. So now, in this row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to put a 5 somewhere. 6. I need to put an 8 somewhere. So you need to be 5 and 8. In some order. And if you two are definitely 5 and 8, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you need to be a 9. You need to be a 9. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you two need to be 7 and 8. You're definitely 7 and 8. This was the column that we started on. Have we figured out anything about it? or this was the region that we started on. You're missing a 1, a 4, and a 9. That 4 can't go here, and neither can the 9. You're missing a 5, 4, and a 9. So you need to be 5. And now you need to be a 4, and you need to be a 9. Okay, now in this... okay, in this column, we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the missing piece that goes in with one of these two is a 7 or an 8. One of you two needs to be a 7 or an 8. Okay, so some things, you need to be a 4. Are we done with 4s? We are not done with 4s. 4 needs to go here. Now we're done with 4s. Are we done with 1s? We're not done with 1s at all. Are we done with 2s? I mean, we're not done with 2s, but I want to see if we can do something with it. We're so close. We're right at the end. There needs to be a 1 in this row someplace. That 1 needs to go either here or here. There needs to be a 2 somewhere in this row. That's not helpful yet. Now we're just burning time on doing the Sudoku, now that we have established where a lot of the numbers go. All right, so 6s are done and 4s are done. 7s are not done. One of you two needs to be a 7. One of you needs to be a 7. 2, 3, 4. Needs to be a 5. A 5 needs to go out here someplace. 6, 7, and 8. Oh, we're right at the end. Right at the end, and the thing that is killing me is my ability to actually do regular Sudoku. One of you two needs to be a 2. One of you two needs to be a 3. We've got 1 and 4. There needs to be a 5 someplace. That 5 is not allowed to go here or here by knight's move. So that 5 must go in here. You're not allowed to be a 5 by knight's move either, come to think of it. Now we've got a 6. 7. 7 can go anywhere. 8 can go anywhere, and there's already a 9. All right, the 2 needs to go in this column, which means that the 2 needs to go in this column. You're not allowed to be a 2. What am I missing in this region? I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to put a 5 someplace. I don't know where that 5 goes. 6, 7, 9. Let's silence that here for a moment. But we need to figure it out. I'm so close to the end. So close here. All right, well, there needs to be a 9 in this region. That 9 needs to go here or here. But you're not allowed to be a 9 by knight's move. So you are our 9. Now you are our 7. Right? Now a 7 needs to go in this region, and that 7 can only go here or here. So one of you two is a 7. Still, an 8 can go anywhere. 9 must go with these. One of you must be a 9. And now this means that you need to be our 2, is I think what that means. And now a 2 can only go here. 5, 3, 7, and the missing one here is 8. 8 can go in any of these. Up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There needs to be a 5. There needs to be a 6. There needs to be a 7. We've got a 7. And an 8. So the missing pieces here are 5 and 8. So you can also be 5s and 8s. All of you can be 8. Except for you. Not a lot of help in this region, I don't think. 5 and 8. 5 and 8. 5 and 8. There needs to be a 3 in this column. There needs to be a 3 in this column. We have all of the 6s. There needs to be a 7. That 7 needs to go here or here. What else in this row? There needs to be a 3, 5, 8, and 7. So could I say something about where a 5 needs to go in this region? 5 needs to go here, something like that. 1, a 2. Can I say something about where a 2 needs to go in this region? The 2 needs to go here, here. No. The 2 in this region needs to go here. You can't be a 2. So in this region, I have a 1, 2. I'm missing a 3. 3s obviously can't go down here. I'm saying obvious as though it's obvious. One of you guys must be a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last thing I'm missing is an 8. 8s are not allowed to go here, here. 8s are not allowed to go here, here. So an 8 must shove in here or here. So one of you must be an 8. So now these are sort of paired, I think. I think the only things that could go here are 8 and 7. So you can't be a 3 and you can't be a 5. You are missing 3 and 5. So now in this column, there's got to be a 1, and that 1 needs to go here. And what that means is that you need to be a 9 and you need to be a 1. Now, what? Oh man, I feel like we got through. I feel like we got through the unlocking the trick of the puzzle very early, and now I'm just struggling to fill in what was a very sparse Sudoku grid after we filled in the lines. But no matter, this is quite a bit of fun. So I don't know if this can be a 5 now that I think about it, because a 5 needs to go here or here. If a 5 goes here, then this can't be a 5. If 5 goes here, this can't be a 5. So you need to be an 8, and now you need to be a 5. You need to be a 3 and a 5. You need to be a 3 or a 7, 3 or an 8, 3 or 9. What did I do? I made some error there. You're not allowed to be 8 is what you're not allowed to be. And now you're not allowed to be a 5. Interesting. Very interesting. This is where our 3s and 5s go. So you're not allowed to be a 5. You need to be an 8. And now you need to be a 5. I feel like I'm so close, but so far away. 1, 2. In this region, there needs to be a 3. That 3 must go here or here. One of you two must be a 3. There's a 4. There also must be a 2 in this region, come to think of it. That 2 must go here or here. One of you guys must be a 2, but you can't be a 2. So what this means is that my 2 must go here. And if you're where my 2 goes, then you are where my 2 goes. Maybe I can do the rest of this just from the keyboard. So in this we need a 1. In this we need 4. We need a 5 somewhere. Don't know where the 5s go. We have very little clarity on 5s. Or maybe we don't. Maybe you need to be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 7, and 8. That's what's missing. So one of you two needs to be a 3. With 7s, I don't know. With 8s, I also don't know. So you need to be 3, 7, and 8. But what do we know up here? So you need to be a 3, so you need to be a 5, so you need to be a 3, so you need to be a 5. This needs to be 3, 7, and 8. That's what's missing. There's a 3, 7, and 8 here. In this column, but in this row, you need to be a 3, 7, and 8. You're not allowed to be a 3. So you can only be a 7 or an 8. Because of how this row works. In this row, I'm missing some digits. I'm missing the numbers 3, 8, and 7. These are our 3 missing digits. They go there. In this row, I'm missing a 5. And I think the only place that 5 can go is here. Cool. Cool, cool. I'm so close. I want to apply, so 3, 7, and 8. I think we're going to, I noticed this thing where a 7 can't go here. 7 can't go here because the 7's available squares are here and here. So you definitely can't be a 7. So I think we have to apply, I think we have to do some finishing touches, knight's move ruling. So let's say you can't be an 8. But you can't be a 7. You can't be a 7 because you definitely see a 7, so you cannot be a 7. If you are a 7, then you are a 7, then you are a 7, then you are a 7. Then you are an 8, then you are an 8, and you're a 3. You step through that again, we're like right at the end of the puzzle. And it's going to come down to be like a knight's move rule, I think. You're definitely the number 7 and 8. And you both see you by knight's move and by the column. So you need to be 3. Now you need to be 7. Now you need to be 8. Now you need to be 3. Now you need to be 3. Now you need to be 7. Now you need to be 8. Now, last but not least, you need to be an 8. Now you need to be a 7. You need to be an 8. And you need to be a 7. Ah, there was even some more last, but certainly not least. 45 minutes and 34 seconds. That's nice. It's a nice looking number. And we are the 1555th solver. That was a ton of fun. Really cool puzzle, GDC. You found a really cool way to mix the knight's move rule with the this green line rule. Somehow the shape, yeah, it was really cool. The way you do it is you establish the fact that the numbers are sort of split into the low and high numbers. And then what you can show is that these lines, they're going to have 4 low numbers on them. And they all need to be unique, and all the high numbers need to be unique. And then using the V's, which need to have low numbers, it was a nice puzzle. A really enjoyable time. So I recommend that anyone watching this video should go dig it up. I'm going to like this puzzle, and I will see you guys later. Great.